Pope Leo XIV stepped onto the balcony and pledged a peace that surged from the stones of St. Peter's Square to news feeds worldwide, a shocking vow that shook headlines and expectations in a single breath. How far can a vow of love travel when spoken at that threshold? Pope Leo XIV speaks about peace from deep personal experience. Long before his election, Cardinal Robert Prevost urged unity in homilies delivered across Peru's northern valleys. His episcopal motto, "In the one Christ, we are one," captured a conviction that diversity thrives only when anchored in love. As a missionary bishop, he crossed rugged tracks on horseback to reach remote chapels, reminding villagers that reconciliation begins where neighbors share bread. He once told a Vatican interviewer that authority means serving, accompanying, and listening. Those priorities shaped the line he chose in his first address. God loves us. God loves you. When Leo says evil will not prevail, he brings to mind years of pastoral letters that challenged violence in border regions. He counseled parishes to host peace circles in village squares, then celebrated Mass beside families still grieving loved ones. As Bishop of Chiclayo, Prevost earned a reputation for practical bridge building. He oversaw diocesan programs that helped Venezuelan migrants set up small businesses, regaining professional credentials, giving families a foothold in their new country. He visited the neglected shantytowns on foot, listening to residents while returning with parish volunteers who repaired roofs and supplied clean water. During the COVID-19 emergency, he rallied local companies, civic groups, and parish youth to deliver masks, food, and oxygen to remote villages. Each effort drew people across social lines into common service, reinforcing his identity as a pastor who heals divisions through concrete action. Every gesture modeled a shepherd who places unity ahead of protocol. Can a greeting stir hearts if it rises from a life already spent smoothing divisions? What would change in your circle if you treated peace as a daily decision instead of a slogan? A blessing rooted in lived witness naturally presses disciples to move, so the Pope turned quickly toward the road ahead. Christ goes before us. With that line, Leo XIV joined a chorus of recent popes who ground mission in the risen Lord's initiative. St. John Paul II opened his papacy urging nations to open wide the doors for Christ. He crossed continents proclaiming that humanity needs Christ's light. Benedict XVI highlighted friendship with Jesus, teaching that joy springs from an encounter with truth. Pope Francis calls every believer a missionary disciple because the Lord loved us first. Leo XIV's phrasing stands beside these voices, yet carries his own cadence. He pictures the church as a caravan walking hand in hand, pilgrims who trust providence more than strategy. During his years as an Augustinian superior, he encouraged friars to travel light, enter homes, share coffee, then solve village disputes around kitchen tables. The same approach now marks his plan for global evangelization. Begin with conversation, follow with service. Consider how earlier popes embodied this path. St. John Paul II's first visit to Africa in 1980 led to the John Paul II Foundation for the Sahel, which still funds water wells and agricultural projects across 9 nations. Benedict XVI kept university doors open, inviting scientists into sustained dialogue so faith could meet with reason. Francis launched parish listening sessions on every continent. The reports from those gatherings now shape the Global Synod's working documents. Leo blends these examples, asking Catholics to anchor outreach in prayer, measuring success by friendships healed. Imagine your parish hosting an open-floor evening where refugees share stories or young adults brainstorm local outreach. Which voice would you invite to start the dialogue? He closed this section by asking how anyone can claim discipleship while barricades linger between neighbors. Which barrier near you could you yield to a single act of hospitality before next Sunday? Challenge gains credibility when framed by gratitude, so Leo paused to honor those who formed him. Thank you, Pope Francis. Leo's first nod reached his predecessor, whose solitary blessings in a rain-soaked square steadied the world during lockdown. He then turned to the cardinals, describing their vote as collaboration rather than promotion. Quoting St. Augustine, "With you I am a Christian, for you I am a bishop," he signaled that the papacy remains an office of service. Augustinian spirituality runs deep in Leo's life. The order teaches friars to live with one mind and one heart on the way to God. Leadership flows from community, not above it. As Prior General, he governed brothers on 5 continents through listening sessions and shared discernment, often saying decisions ripen only when every voice feels heard. That habit explains his emphasis on synodality. Councils that begin in prayer, continue in dialogue, then conclude in consensus. If you guide a classroom, a committee, or a family, how might that model reshape your next meeting? Leo reminds the Church that authority, divorced from charity, withers. When he cites Augustine's maxim, he invites each baptized person to lead through humble presence. What would your workplace look like if titles served relationships instead of overshadowing them? After grounding leadership in service, the Pope turned toward a companion he trusts to guide every step. May 8th marks the supplication of Our Lady of Pompeii, a tradition that began after Blessed Bartolo Longo turned a ruined valley into a Marian sanctuary in the late 1800s. He promoted the Rosary and composed the Supplica, a fervent prayer still recited at noon every May 8th and on the first Sunday of October. From Leo XIII onward, popes have embraced this devotion during wars, epidemics, and cultural upheavals, trusting Mary's aid when human solutions fall short. Invoking the Supplica on his election day, Pope Leo XIV tied his pontificate to this long-running chorus of hope. Each May 8th, the Pompeii Shrine leads the prayer, while tens of thousands fill the basilica and millions join by television, live stream, or a folded leaflet tucked in a missal. Pope Francis once called it a chorus that circles the globe, capturing the worldwide pause for shared petition. By adding his first blessing to that chorus, Leo XIV signaled that his ministry will rise from the same well of faith that has sustained believers for more than a century. He asked 3 simple actions: pray together, tend to local wounds, remain near those who suffer. Anyone can begin before sunset. When the crowd answered his Hail Mary, languages blended across the square, Spanish with Swahili, Tagalog beside Italian, showing unity that honors difference rather than erasing it. A century ago, the Pompeii prayer spread on printed holy cards mailed across Italy. Today, the supplication is televised each May 8th, as well as every first Sunday of October, linking the faithful all over the world to the shrine at noon. Leo encouraged the faithful to share the rosary through group chats and parish apps, turning smartphones into chapels that travel in every pocket. Picture your neighborhood repeating that prayer tonight. Whose hardship would surface while the words, "now and at the hour of our death," pass your lips? Consecrating his service to Mary repeats a pattern running from John Paul II's Totus Tuus to Francis's quiet visits to Marian shrines before major journeys. Leo XIV trusts the Mother of the Church to steady a family spread across cultures, yet bound by the Rosary's rhythm. Where might a single decade prayed this week redirect your schedule toward mercy? Pope Leo XIV's first words drew a map, a peace that reaches every border, a journey trusting Christ's lead, a leadership style shaped by Augustine, as well as a mission entrusted to Mary. Policies will follow, yet the speech's legacy depends on thousands of small decisions in homes, classrooms,